This is Gary. I'm back, as I said I would be. But yesterday I really couldn't think of anything to make another video on the Trump shooting until late yesterday. For the past 24 hours, we've been getting a lot of news about the Secret Service's handling of this incident, and it doesn't look good. I didn't want to believe this, because it would give more fuel to the MAGA people, where I was talking about the deep state and how it's all against them. I was skeptical hearing people talking about it on social media, but now that I've seen the footage of people actually seeing the shooter on the roof before Secret Service, that sounds pretty bad. So, does even the Secret Service want Trump dead? On the other hand, that's just from one point of view. We don't see what Secret Service is doing. And they can't just shoot the guy unless they see something like him holding a gun, which we don't see in that footage. The Secret Service could be going over there at that moment, maybe just out of sight, maybe on the other side of the building. It seems like they got to him just a little too late, because their bullets came like seconds after his, which was really strange to hear. On the other hand, this is nothing new. People in the media are acting like they've never seen the Secret Service messing up. Don't people remember when Obama was president? Some guy with a gun was able to get in an elevator with President Obama. Then there was the time some guy jumped over the White House fence, ran across the entire lawn up to the front door of the White House. Then you would think that's the end of the story. You think he would be stopped at the door. He opened the door. Well, for one thing, why is the door unlocked? He walked in and he got into a room. I'd say he walked like 50 feet or so into the house before he was stopped by anyone. I made a video about that. When I think about that story, I remember myself riding around on a bike, telling the story to my camera. I remember I made a video about it. That, again, might not be a case of incompetence, because even back then I was thinking, there's a lot of people out there that really don't want Obama being president, simply because he's black. And remember, in my initial video, I made the prediction that I think is obvious, that conservatives are going to blame Biden somehow. That's before I knew anything and saw anything. And now we can see that, yes, they are doing that. You know, anybody, Biden, the Democrats, the Secret Service, the deep state. Now throw in Pelosi and Hillary, whatever. And it's not going to make any difference to them who the shooter turns out to be, which we're finding out. They are going to capitalize on this. And they're trying to paint the Democrats as the ones who are the most violent, or lie the most, or they're the evil ones. This is all projection.
You know, one thing that made your life better that you love about him?
Everything he did made my life better.
Specific.
He doesn't lie. He tried to reduce our taxes. He tried to eliminate the evil that's the left.
Tell me about that. Do you think that the left is evil?
Absolutely, 100%.
In what way?
In every way possible. They lie. They're hypocrites.
She was describing the Republican Party to a T, much more than the Democrats.
This is mental illness.
They lie. They're hypocrites.
About what? I'm sorry, I'm being a journalist here, but I'm just trying to get specifics. Like what?
If you've been watching my political videos, especially if you've been reading those comments under those videos, I'm always pointing out the Trump supporters leaving comments and how they don't get specific. They keep it vague because they don't want to get trapped in their bullshit. They don't say much of anything at all. They just attack me, and then they don't respond back when I try to ask them for something specific we can discuss. This is a huge phenomenon. It's really bizarre. So there you go. This is why I've been saying that Republicans are evil. In non-religious terms, what they are is sociopathic. They just don't have that part of the brain that cares about others. And they will lie. They don't care. They don't have a moral ground. They treat life like a game that doesn't matter. It's actually so fitting that Trump was shot. There's so much irony going on here. One thing is, he fosters this violence. Remember the time about 3 or 4 years ago, Trump did a rally in El Paso, Texas. That is a border city, meaning lots of Mexicans, a lot of illegal aliens coming in there. That might be why Trump picked that city. And I'm sure during his speech he mentioned Mexicans and fostered violence against them with the way he talks. And the reason I'm remembering this particular city is because about 3 days later, a person traveled about like 1,000 miles to get to El Paso with a gun and committed a mass shooting, mostly Mexican victims.
The left, well, they lie. They're hypocrites. The evil that's the left.
This is also a mental illness problem.
And there was another event which would lead you to believe that violence follows Trump around physically. I forget what that was, though. I made a video about that. Don't have time to look, because I got 2 more videos to make on this.
Our president right now is using the same language of racism, of bigotry, and white supremacy. The way this president is talking about immigrants, the way he's talking about minorities in this country, and as we see in this terrorist attack, the kind of people that ultimately manifest that hatred and violence. And for him not to take responsibility for that is a moral failing. And for him not to understand his failure to condemn it or see the seriousness. And we have a president that not only is failing to call out white supremacy, who in Charlottesville tried to create a savagely false equivalency, but he himself is using the language of hate on a regular basis to talk about Congress people. He is responsible in his language, and he is fueling and giving license to this kind of hate in our country.
Then there's Bernie Sanders. He's one of the other few decent people in our Congress. He called on Trump to, quote, "Stop your racist, hateful, and anti-immigrant rhetoric. Your language creates a climate which emboldens violent extremists." And now one has gone after him. I'm getting criticized for my last video I made where I present a conspiracy theory on why the shooting may be faked. What I want to say to those people who are criticizing me is, do you criticize the other side? The right, Republicans, MAGA, Trump, they all do this at every opportunity. And that was one of the points of my video. I was giving it back to them. Why should we believe the Donald who cries wolf when he's been fostering all this stuff? He may not call everything fake, but he has a big friend who he talked to all the time when he was president. Alex Jones made a career out of doing this, calling shootings fake. He built a large audience of people who wanted to hear that. He caused a lot of damage. Alex Jones actually has said that he was sure. He talked in a way to where he was stating that shootings were fake. All I did in my video was speculate and just list a few suspicious things. What about this QAnon stuff? Trump has been low-key supporting this group out there. This is the craziest conspiracy group we've ever seen. So while I acknowledge that my theory may not be true, I got an upcoming video with a new theory that's going to blow my old theory out of the water. And this one's real serious. This one really sounds like it could be real. Yeah, if you think that faking this shooting is a mind-blowing thing, wait till you see the reasons I thought of why this shooting could be real. What if this wasn't done by the left? What if it was the right-leaning conspirators waiting for a shooter? That's it. And I'm deadly serious with this one. And you will agree. So subscribe to be notified of that upcoming video.